about finally getting out on the road again in June, and how much do you plan to do that to recruit?
You know, June is going to be our first back to normal month because it's the first time. It's going to be really busy. We're going to have prospects in on campus, which is probably more important than us actually going out and starting to see prospects. At the same time, we're putting a new team together. Our freshmen come in, June 1st, and so at the same time recruiting starts. So there'll be a lot going on. So the NCAA is going to give us like 6 days in June, about, I think it might be 10 in July, and I'll be out all those days doing, what I do. I'm trying to spend as much time with the young ones and get caught up a little bit, because it's been about a year and a half since we've been out seeing live.
Bruce, I know you can't talk about at least one guy specifically, but you, in sort of rebuilding the roster, you guys got some guys with SEC experience. Just how valuable do you think that can be as you guys have rebuilt this roster?
Well, I mean, I think when they legislated certain things about defense and basically made trapping a foul, we stopped trapping. I mean, trapping is a big part of the game of basketball. I've always played full court pressure defense. We've always pressed, we've always trapped, and now all of a sudden it's really much against the rules, so we're not trapping it. So when they changed the rules, and now you've got the transfer portal, and you've got players that are eligible one time immediately, you can get more experience, you can get older in a hurry, and just take a look at the teams that were most successful in our league last year. Alabama, Arkansas, older and more experienced. So that's what we did, take advantage of. I think the key, I've always loved to get young guys and build them up and develop them, and that's getting challenging, but we're going to try to mix that in if we can. I think the other thing too is sometimes, we got caught really being shorthanded last year in the backcourt. And so we don't want to be in that situation again. At the same time, we can have too much. And so there's a balance there between making sure you got enough, but actually not duplicating talent too much, because then you're sending the guys on the team currently a message that, you're not believing in them. So there's a real balance there.
Bruce, what have you heard and seen from your guys who are coming back, like Jalen and Allen and Devin and those guys, about the new players, kind of bringing them in full, because y'all had a lot of roster overturns?
Yeah, well, today was actually our first go. This is the first week, and we had a great day. The guys lifted, they did some testing, and right now the only two guys that are here are Wendell and Walker, and so they've mixed in really well, both Walker and Wendell are bigger than we thought they would be, in different ways. Walker is it's a big man now. He's every bit of 7'1", 250, 255. He moves really well for a big guy, and he come home. Walker's home. It's an hour from his doorstep to our campus. His family went to Georgia, and so therefore that SEC is in his blood. And they've also got a home down Lake Martin, which is practically, Auburn, just a little bit northwest of here. And so when I hear Walker talking about coming home, he means it. He's around his family. He's happy. And it's amazing how those two things, as I talked about, even my coming here, I came here with my family, and I'm happy. And that helps you be successful. So he's really in a good spot. And then Wendell's got a chip on his shoulder. Wendell's coming in for Eastern Kentucky. He played at La Lemure, he played at Detroit Country Day, he played in some pretty good AAU programs, but he's 5'10", maybe 5'11", and so he's always been that, like Jared, question, are you big enough? We're gonna find out.
Bruce Walker.
I like it.
Walker's a guy that you guys have known for a long time, the recruiting process, all those. How much does his versatility play into things. The things you can do a lot of different things with a guy like him.
Well, I mean, look, he's a 7'1" guy that can step out and shoot the three ball. He can put the ball on the floor. He can pass. He moves really well. You know, right now it's still about player development, just getting started, getting him in the weight room, doing a lot of testing. He's really flexible for a big guy. Again, he moves really well, so we're going to push the work, but we're not going to be scrimmaging just yet. Let's get him here. Let's get him moving. Let's get him acclimated, and then we'll start to play a little bit.
You kind of hit on this, Bruce, but with this being the first week, just what are some of the goals, the things you want to see out of the first week?
Well, just again, this is the first week. They'll lift 4 times. We'll practice probably 3 times. You know, today, for example, we were able to, you know, teach a couple of offensive shooting drills, some of our defensive half-court principles, and it was short and sweet. We went for about an hour, and you know, there was great energy, and you know, they bought in. They're figuring it out, and you know, and then just getting them in their habits. You know, what's the pre-practice routine? Right now, we're working so much on prehab. You know, guys work like crazy once they get injured. Let's really understand our bodies right now. Let's work on our weaknesses physically. Which leg is stronger than the other leg? Let's get that other leg going because you're compensating. And we're working on, you know, obviously a lot of that, you know, right now. And then the other thing is just team building. We got to get to know each other, you know. We had our first occasional meal yesterday down at the lake, and we got on the jet skis, tubed a little bit. I've got a picture of Walker and Stretch on the same tube, standing with their hands up. It's the damnedest thing you've ever seen in your life, right? And you know, I mean, you know, so we got to, you know, again, becoming a family. And then we also went to Children's Harbor yesterday, and it was vent camp yesterday. And so we took some campers out on the lake, and you know, it was great to see our players interacting with those young kids that have got some real serious health challenges, and yet you could pick up a smile on their face, and it was good. So those are the kind of things that's what we're working on this week.
Coach, couple more. Coach, with everything that's been going on, how does it feel to be able to get the team together? Because you know you didn't really do a lot of that last year.
Right.
To be able to do the team building things that
Yeah.
you normally get to do.
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's the same thing that I would think of for young kids in grade school or kids in high school. Or, I mean, the kids, they're resilient, but at the same time, their life has changed probably as much as anybody's, in a sense of the way they go to school and how they sit and how they have to socially distance from each other, so on and so forth. You guys know I'm a big hugger, you know, and we give a lot of hugs and stuff like that. So that's what we're trying to do, you know, right now. I feel bad for the kids, high school kids, graduating, college kids. It's different. So it's great to get back to close to being normal. We're still going to be careful. We're going to still, you know, test. We're still going to, you know, do the things that we need to do to stay healthy. But hopefully we turn the corner.
You mentioned for the first time ever, you're going to start with some pickup. You know, do something a little bit different. Are there any other adjustments you're making as you go into the season that looks really different than last season?
Well, I mean, I think the thing is you look at every team, you look at what we have. You know, we're going to be really big at 4 and 5, bigger than we've ever been. You know, and I hope we're not just big and we're slow. And I've got, you know, really skilled guys in the position. I mean, you know, Dylan is getting skilled, and he's really mobile. Walker's really mobile. Stretch is really mobile. Jalen and Jabbar are really skilled. So I've got 5 really good frontline guys, and so that's going to be different. It's a guards game, so we're liable to see a lot of small ball, and then what are we going to do ourselves to take advantage of our size? And you know, it's kind of like the Lakers, you know, right now. Everybody knows that, you know, they're better when the big fella plays the 5 and LeBron plays the 4. Well, they've got a couple of centers that need to be out there, and all of a sudden they're all playing out, but they're bigger. What could they be doing better? I will watch the Lakers really carefully because we're probably going to be a little bit bigger. So taking advantage of our size and not having it be a weakness, have it being a strength, and let that be a problem for our opponents.
Bruce, you just talked about NBA a little bit, but like, how much did you get a chance to talk to Chuma and Isaac now that they're rookie? Obviously, Jared is still going with the Knicks, but I guess just what does it do for y'all's program to have two guys like that who came along really strong at the end of the year?
I talked to both of them, and Isaac, I think, may even come back this week, which I think is so cool. You know, that they want to come back and train, or even come back and just chill and hang around with their teammates. And again, that's so good for our program because, you know, Isaac is such a solid person, such a solid player, such a hard worker. No rookie played more minutes this year than Isaac did. And then Chuma obviously coming on at the end of this year. I think one of the things about Chuma that I think is really a great story is Chuma was in college for 2 years, got hurt, and this is now his second year in the NBA, knowing last year was hurt. So this would be Chuma's really senior year. And you could sort of see at the end of his senior year what an impact he was having. It doesn't happen right away. And so there's a balance between getting there and staying there. And I almost think the fact that Chuma was a little older and was able to physically get better has put him in a situation right now where in his second year, at 22 or 23 years old, he's more ready to maybe sign a real good contract that next time because of the effort and just because of the time. He's just a little bit more seasoned. And both those guys are grateful. They're grateful. I mean, Chuma was here for 2 years, we won 2 championships. Isaac was here for 1 year, and I can tell you, not being able to play in the SEC tournament and the NCAA tournament a year ago because of COVID, Isaac will tell you that's one of the toughest things that happened to him. He came to Auburn to win championships, and he finished second in the regular season and didn't get a chance to win a championship. So, yeah, it'd be great to have those guys back, and Jared will be back this summer too. Camp is in June. We got camp coming up in early June also, and so we still got some openings in our camp, but they're filling up fast. And it'd be great to be back out there, you know, with our campers and you know, building that, you know, fan base a little bit, and again, sort of getting back to normal. So June is also camp month, and those guys I think will be back a little bit to work some camp.
Everybody good, Coach?
Okay,
All right.
great.